And there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Tasherre Risay, instructor, content creator over at Computer Music Academy. If you're following this channel, chances are you know who I am, but you may or may not know some of the people that I'm hanging with tonight. We are chilling with a panel of machine users that are very close to me. And we came here to discuss the very official looking leaks that came out today about the Maschine MK3, about in the 3.0 software, which really wasn't any kind of details on that. And there was also, we'll get to that shortly, there was also a leak on the new Komplete Kontrol keyboards. So before we get into it, let's holler at our panelists and see who we're talking to. First of all, representing Oakland, California, my right-hand man doing his thing, representing the West Coast, that would be RTO Beats. How are you, sir?
What's up? What's up?
Next to him in the panel, my fellow Detroiter, even though he's originally from Flint, but he represents down here as well.
You say that like that's a bad thing.
Not at all. Not at all. But I call you fellow Detroiter. But
all right, I could take that.
My man who's been holding it down over at CMA for a good 4+ years now. We call him the professor. He is one half of Double Negative Peoples. We call him Mr. Wallace. How are you, sir?
What up?
Welcome, welcome. And then my man who's also a fellow Detroiter, who's also representing the Carolinas, but now he's over in Japan. Talk about that far, far east side. My man who is absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the instrumentation, the funk, the R&B, the new jack swing. This dude can do it all. The head of late past music, ladies and gentlemen, my man, Jay Bishop. How are you, sir?
Konnichiwa.
Exactly. And then we had to represent the ladies also. This is my girl who's been holding it down at CMA for a few years. She doesn't contribute as much as we would like her to, but every time she does, she has everybody just like, oh, that was dope. She plays Machine. She multiple models of Machine, as well as guitar and bass, and I want to say Ableton Push too as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know why.
The flute, but I get jokes for that.
What, for the push?
For the flute.
Oh, the flute. Oh, that's now she is representing the north of the Carolinas. This is B.A. Mac. How are
What's
you,
good, everybody? Doing good.
Good. And finally, we have another person or two showing up later, but at the moment, the final person to be introduced, one half of the World Championship Liars out of Chicago. One of the coolest dudes I've ever met. One of the illest dudes on Machine, chopping up jazz and any other samples you want him to do. This is my guy, Agent Smith 78. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What's going on, people?
We're here, man. So we have some stuff to discuss. We are all machine users. I've been from the beginning, from the MK1 to the MK2 to the studio to the jam as well. We got Jay Bishop, who's a micro user. I think B.A. Mac had a micro as well as MK2 and the studio, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. We got AS, who's a MK2 user.
Right.
RTO, who's still an MK1 user, but he's also really dope on Push 2 as well. And then Wallace is, I believe he started out on a micro, but now he's MK2, Jam, and Studio, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right on. Okay, right. Cool. Thank you, Wallace. Leaving me hanging. But yeah,
hey, my bad. My audio kind of went in and out. What did you say, dude?
I was just running down your pedigree. You have experience with the micro, MK2, and studio as well as the jam, correct?
Yes, that's true. That is a true statement. Yes, it is, sir.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. So today I woke up. Well, not woke up. I was already up, but was bombarded from a number of people who actually came to me and hit me up with images and posts and yo, what the hell is this? And what we got is this right here coming up on my screen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your new Maschine MK3 from what it looks like.
A thing of beauty to behold.
Yes, it is.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I really need it, but it looks dope though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Initial thoughts. Let's go around.
Treat it like a lady.
Yeah.
On my first thoughts, I'm loving that the pads are slightly bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's a definite plus for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking how it's kind of offset with the screen. Actually, no, it's kind of the same thing with the MK1. There's buttons on the left of the screen. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
of course, obviously, we got actual color screen and everything.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
What's that, RGB or whatnot? Basically, got the studio screen
Yes,
and
sir.
the MK3 and whatnot.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir.
the whole
Yeah, it's
chicken
almost like-
hands, I wonder how that's going to be.
Yeah.
Has anybody taken notice to the strip that's right
Yeah,
above
Yes,
the
saw that.
group
sir.
area?
Yes.
First thing I saw, I was like,
Definitely.
okay, I could actually use performance effects without the dog.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to bring up. I'm assuming that you'll be able to use it like that. Myself and Wallace, we have the jam, so we're pretty familiar with the performance effects at this point.
Yeah.
But
I like.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, good. I was gonna say I was looking at the buttons. I like that they gave more features their own button. Like there's a chord button.
Mhm.
Right.
Oh, okay.
There's a fixed velocity button.
So
Mhm.
dedicated buttons. So that's going towards an NPC route.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that that they even had a sequence button up there. I don't know if y'all pay that any attention.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I thought I saw that. I wasn't sure.
Huh.
But okay.
Mm.
Interesting.
I like the elements though that they kind of. It seems like they kind of took a play on the studio and on Push 2
Mhm.
Yeah.
with the design of it.
I mean,
Yeah, we actually were discussing that earlier in the year. I think it was earlier in the summer. We were on the other podcast and talking about if they do it, they need to have the screen that's on the studio, and
Mhm.
there you have it.
Voila.
Yeah. I mean, I like the way all the other function buttons look.
Yeah.
The way that,
Really dope redesign.
Yeah.
Fully,
Yeah.
man. I like that a lot.
so I'm like, but
I hope that and I hope the jog wheel, the big jog wheel that they got, I hope that it operates like the jams, where you can just kind of go in between, the different fields and things like that. I think that'll be real nice
Right.
I mean,
because it looked big enough to be able to do that.
Yeah. Again, going back, I like the size of the pads, and it seemed like every time they do a new model of the MK, they put better pads on it. Like again, I was from the beginning with the MK1, the initial MK1, because they've updated the MK1 and the MK2 a couple of different times, revised it, I should say. I like the pads. They seem, I could be wrong, they seem a little more shallow, but they are bigger. So there's, you can tell that because there's less space in between all of the pads.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really, really dope. Same thing with the buttons. I think Mac had just pointed that out, that it kind of has the buttons of the Push 2, which is kind of dope. I really like that. Everything about it is dope, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if that screen is going to be the exact same as the studio, or if it's going to be something better, something that they've revised, but
yeah.
I am curious about the size of it though.
Yeah. I am too.
Right. That's what I was
It
just
looks like it's the size of the regular MK1s
Right.
and 2s, but
The screens are throwing me off though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
well,
could
you
be
know
taller.
it's gonna have to have its own power supply, so that's a given.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
definitely.
Let's get into that actually. Stop screen sharing. Let's get into a little bit of that. There is some information that we got, and I want to discuss that with y'all right now. If it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all have seen the same thing that I'm getting ready to show. But yeah, so Native Instruments today introduced a new version of its machine controller. Native Instruments MK3 will be available from October 5th. This is actually written overseas. Here is the most important information about the third generation of the controller. The modern production and performance system Native Instruments Maschine MK3 has a new design in a now third generation. The first point of his view is two high-resolution color displays, which the manufacturer has already placed in the upper right corner as in the previous ones. In this case, the search for the sounds, editing of notes, or slicing of samples is now easier and faster. Overall, the layout of the controls as well as the texture of the buttons were changed, which is pretty cool. According to Native Instruments, this was optimized on the basis of customer and artist surveys. Also new in the fourth dimension push encoder. Also new is the fourth dimension push encoder, which is designed to simplify. I cannot talk. Simplify browsing within the sounds and navigating many new dedicated buttons for frequently used features like note input mode. This is where it gets interesting. An important component of the Native Instruments Maschine MK3 is a 24-bit 96 kilohertz audio interface with stereo and microphone inputs.
I didn't see that.
Yes, sir.
As well as line and headphone outputs.
Yes, sir.
This increases the application. This increases the application area very clearly and makes the machine a bit more of a production and performance system. The power supply should be continued via USB. Alternatively, will include a power supply.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
One last is it these last couple of things. New is also the so-called Smart Strip, which is to offer a completely new playing, filling chords like a guitar on the guitar or machine performance effects control should be possible. Available Native Instruments Maschine MK3 from October the 5th, 2017. The price as well as the MK2 version at $599.
See,
all that for
I told Dixie just last week that I knew that while they had been silent all the while with the MPC Eggs and MPC Live, they were going to come back with something. Well, that was going to sort of clap back at a con.
She said that.
Well, we had that discussion, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Originally from Alabama, now over in St. Louis. One of our favorite people at CMA, as well as musicians, who kills it with the MK2 as well as micro. Dixie Freely, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, sir.
Glad to be here.
So you just came in. You came in right as with the good info.
Right.
So with everything that we just went over in the write-up, thoughts?
Can't wait for October 5th.
Can I say hello to everybody on the panel first?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. What's up?
Hello, sir.
All right.
What it is?
It's good, sir. Dixie. What's up?
I do have a question for Tasherre.
Okay.
When you have these production centers like a machine or the other stuff, and they have these built-in interface, so you can't use that and your interface at the same time. So you will have to disable that if you needed to.
I'm going to kind of defer to people like Gigahertz and CX on that, especially Gigahertz, because I know Gigahertz has external, hardware interfaces. I'm assuming that can be bypassed. I think that's in place if you want to come directly out of there or go directly into it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really wanted to get to, because when I read that, I was like, oh,
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I mean, that's dope if you just use like your laptop and that's all you got is a machine, the laptop. You don't have to worry about carrying something else.
Right.
So but for me,
Right.
it'd be kind of a little extra. You know, I mean, I wouldn't really use it.
I guess my fear was if you can't bypass it and if you don't spend several on the interface, then there's going to be conflict, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But,
well, you know, you actually have Mac and PC, you have the ability to connect multiple audio devices or whatever. I mean, you got you have your internal sound card, and then you can add this and you can add that and just basically switch between them, whichever you're using. So that's really not an issue.
I just thought about that. My computer has its own interface too, and I just don't use it. I didn't think about that. My bad.
That's not an issue at all, man.
Okay,
shouldn't be anyway.
But yeah, let's go around the room and get some other opinions on it, man.
Yeah, I think because Big Hurts was asking in the chat, is it going to match up to the NPC X?
Probably not, because this is the smaller joint.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think these are two totally different animals. Like, the X is this thing that's standalone and whatnot, and you can. It's basically a standalone hybrid and everything. This is a controller, but for what I will say that it was definitely going to surpass the Renaissance if they do what they're supposed to do with the software.
And we'll get that. We'll definitely get that.
I don't think that'll be a problem though, because Native Instruments has always kind of been on their game as far as software.
Exactly.
They kind of, that was their primary before they even started making controllers.
They're a software company first.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's what gives them an advantage. And we love Akai, especially now that it seems like they finally got their head straight with the X and with the Live. So we love what they're doing. But the thing that has always kept me with Native Instruments is because they started out with the software and then they moved to the hardware. And the initial MK1 and the initial software wasn't perfect, but over time, and I've been here since 2009, it's just gotten better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
And even in these in the last year, the amount of features that they've added. When they announced the Jam and they added, I think that took us to 2.64 or 2.65 when the Jam came out. And
I think so.
Just all the stuff that they've added since then. Even just recently.
We on 2.68 right now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think
that's how they added the bass synth. That was the last.
I think Native Instruments kind of even surprised themselves though, because in the beginning, like back in 2009, whenever the MK1 came out, it seemed like that it was like a lot of the demos were kind of EDM-esque type demos that you would see, and I don't think they were really expecting like the hip hop community to embrace it the way they did. So when folks like us did, it was kind of like, oh well, they kind of had to start competing with the Kai.
Right.
We're gonna start making expansion packs for y'all then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
and that's one thing I've always loved about them. As you said, we had this discussion not that long ago as well. The one thing, like, I'm a huge Ableton person as well as I'm a Native Instruments machine person. The one thing for so long, it seemed like they were stuck with EDM people, electronic people, as far as demonstrating, and they were kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Promoting to them. But eventually they seen that, oh, wait a minute, these hip hop cats over here, these urban cats, they're doing something. So they start actually pulling people who knew what the hell they were doing and actually showing how it should be demonstrated for that particular audience, So I've always given them credit for that.
Well, because they're number one, they're a German company, so that's why a lot of their base is EDM, because that's big overseas. And number two, that their DJ software Tractor is preferred by the EDM crowd, vice Serato, which is preferred by the hip hop crowd. So.
Right, exactly.
Yep, very true.
Exactly. For anybody that's just joining us, I'm looking at the chat now. There's several people checking in. We're just talking about the MK3 that was leaked today. And of course, we've seen stuff in the past, but all of these pictures and details seem very, 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 very official. This is the picture right here, pulling it back up on the screen. And we've discussed.
It seemed official because a lot of them got took down very quickly.
Yes. Yep. That's why I went on I went on and downloaded everything I could right away. I knew what I wanted to do tonight.
One quick question, then I won't shut up. Okay. So I came in the middle of you reading I guess the promo, the press release. Did they say anything about importing MP3?
No, there's nothing.
That's a software
just yet.
Okay.
What I will do, I will throw this up real quick. This other image that I have, and we can kind of discuss this real quick if y'all want. There we go. Revealed next generation complete control and machine.
Look at that joker's big.
Look at
I'm about to say, damn.
Look at complete control, yo.
Yeah,
man,
that looks crazy.
Yeah.
That's the 49 to 61. I don't know how I feel about that.
What you don't like the size?
Wow.
No.
Really?
That's too. That's like machine and the keyboard like together.
Right together, yeah.
All they need to do is just put the pads over there on the other side.
That looks like one of those M1s.
Oh yeah.
It's real, you know.
Yeah, I think
big.
That thing is, dude. I mean, I don't have.
But I'm gonna be honest.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest, because a buddy of mine has the and it was dope, but it did feel a little plasticky.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't like the. I felt they could have done better with the keys. What's the keys? Is it sitar?
Yeah, the Fatar.
Yeah, I felt they could have gone with the Fatar keys because I have a couple of Arturia boards over here. Even my old Novation board had the Fatar keys, and it felt great, great. But I ain't gonna front. I mean, I don't know if I would go with a complete control, but that looks nice, yo.
It does.
I mean, if I had just extraneous funds, yeah, and the funds in the room. Because I mean, that's going to take a lot of space.
Yeah, that's my only thing. Like, it's not ugly, but that's almost like a straight up workstation.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I honestly, being that big, do you think they have audio ins and outs on this too?
It wouldn't surprise me.
I would.
I don't know if they would go that far for that. Do ergonomic controls, touch strip for extra expression, high resolution display, complete 11 select included.
I don't know. They might would go that far, Tasherre, because I mean the controller costs more than a machine.
Right.
Like currently.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe. Why not? You know, as long as they. I mean, bigger.
I don't know. Two things I noticed is that number one, I went on eBay immediately and seen the price of Machine Studios is down to like $350, $400.
Yeah.
They trying to get rid of them jokers.
That's getting ready.
And number two, I wonder, is it going to be a micro? And what the hell would that look like?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's a very good question.
What if the micro had the
just have one screen?
Yeah, just one of the color screens.
I don't know if they do. It probably number one. It probably wouldn't come out till later, and I don't think they would drop it at the same time.
Yeah, like
probably later next year.
Because you know what? I love what I see with the MK3. You see that back there? I want to see the new one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm
really curious to see what they do with the studio.
If the MK3 has the interface and whatnot built into it, and they got the nice screens and all this kind of stuff, what is that one going to look like?
The studio probably
Right.
I mean, it'd probably be like another 6 months to a year before they get to that point, but I'm very interested in that, yo.
I've been hearing people talk about they think that they just may do away with the studio and just, because K3 is everything that the studio has is just condensed along with the audio ins and outs.
So I don't know,
bro.
Because way and Tasherre, you know music retail, so you know better than I do. But it's all about price point, and I think they gotta compete with the Kai X's and whoever else at that $1,000 mark with something,
Exactly.
And,
so with that being said, the MK3 has the audio ins and outs and everything.
Right.
If the studio want to compete with MPC, you think we'll get a standalone Machine Studio?
That's what I think.
That's what I was just thinking.
That's what I think.
That's the only thing you could do. I mean, what else?
That's the only thing you could do. Yeah. Yep, that's the only thing you do.
Which is probably the reason why they only have the MK3, just like the regular version.
Well, I mean, but let's keep it real though. They've always rolled out the MK series by itself.
Yeah,
that's always been the first, and then you'll see a micro, and then later we saw the studio.
Right. And I think it's the right thing to do, because if I was a studio owner who just how old are the studios? 2 years?
Oh, longer than that.
No.
Maybe
been like
you think so? Oh, okay.
4 years.
It's like 4 years.
Oh, okay.
4 years because they had a push for 2.
Oh well, never mind. So, that kills my point then, because I was going to say maybe they were trying to show a little loyalty to those people who just got the studio and not roll that out so fast,
Oh yeah, I think that's what's happening. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get this MK3 up first with the 3.0, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And like I said, maybe next spring or something, we might see the micro MK3, maybe, if they're still going to do it. But I think around this time next year, we'll be talking about the direct competitor to the X, if not a little bit sooner.
Yeah, I mean,
let me say this: I've watched so many companies in different arenas screw up part 2 or something by just the look itself. They nailed it. They nailed it.
I give them props. Massive.
I love the way it looks. And the word I like to use for this is sleek.
So I mean, especially after me seeing like a push 2 of back in July, looking at that screen, I was like, man, that get you wondering. So then looking at the mock-up, I'm like, yeah, it looks like that'll definitely.
What do y'all think about the black buttons? Do y'all like the black buttons? Because you ain't gonna be able to see that shit in a dark ass studio.
No.
If they do what they do,
hold on. Let RTO speak. I know where you're going.
If they do what they did with the push, it's illuminated.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I was thinking. I was like, it'd be just like the push 2. That's what I was saying.
The letters within the buttons illuminated, so you got no problem.
Right.
So
So we've seen, like I said, this stuff looks very official. The press release sounds very official. Maybe a detail or so off, I don't know, but at least the image that looks like what I'm going to see in the fall, straight up. That being said, though, go ahead, Dix. You got something?
I need a little bit more time to roll my pennies.
you and me both.
Okay, so with this thing coming out, who do you think they're in competition with?
Who?
Native Instruments. You think they're trying to be in competition with
the Live?
Ableton? Well, I'm thinking more Ableton.
Oh yeah,
because there's there's a lot of similarities with NI with the software.
But what's the price? What's the price point of the Push 2 right now?
I think $799.
Yeah, around
$799.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, allow me to go here. because you guys got to talking about what the studio may look like. Maybe it is a standalone. I don't know. We know what the Jam looks like. What if they go with more features of what the Jam looks like and put that into a studio? So it will be a direct competitor to the Push as opposed to the X, or maybe both. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, they would have to get the software together, though. I would think.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with.
Yeah, I mean, the hardware, I think they're good, but if the software can't even do close to what Ableton can do, then what's the point?
All right, so let's go ahead, because I knew we were going to get there. Let's go ahead and talk about the software.
Full DAW. That's end of discussion. Full DAW.
Yeah, if you've been watching, different leaks and discussions in certain forums, especially their own forum, they've actually posted images of what they've been working on, and looks like a full DAW, especially when they released the Jam last year. And now that you have the ideas area built into the 2.0 software, it looks like now they're going to take that and everything else that they've added within this last year or so and just expand upon it and have full DAW capabilities, just like the MPC 2.0 software.
They have to.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I
mean, they kind of don't have a choice at this point.
I mean,
right. I would love to see that, because that would definitely speed up workflow. But like I said, the two things I just really, really wish for: the import capability and an easier way to use automation.
Please, everything should be automated, man.
The thing I need is real-time time stretching.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's that's one of the things that they've discussed. So
I think that's on its way. By now, they have all this stuff that they're doing. They have to implement that, because that's been on the list since 1.7.
Yeah,
pretty much. Been asking for that for a very long time. So
pretty much
they gotta get that. That should be number one on the list. I think the MP3 importing, that's definitely gotta be on there too.
Yeah, they gotta do that.
Full DAW. What BA Mac was saying about there being a scene button on the MK3. I think that may have something to do with it being in the full DAW mode or something like that. That may have some type of implications with that.
Well, we already have scenes.
Yeah.
But I think they may go ahead and implement it a little bit more of what they have now with the ideas layout.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Like with the sequencing and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be sickening.
Yeah.
I still don't use that damn view.
What?
I use it all the time.
I use it all the time.
When I start a new project and that view comes up about that far, I quickly press that button and go to the old view. Fuck that.
I didn't like it at first. I mean, it took a minute to get used to it. Yeah. But I've fallen in love with it now, because you can play around with a lot of ideas, and then once you kind of get your patterns or whatever together, it's real easy to be able to sequence everything together.
Well, right. That's why we need a dope song mode.
So
I think they're gonna nail the software though.
I have zero doubts.
Yeah,
zero.
And I think if they do go which they probably will, the full DAW route, that's probably what will give them a leg up versus the Akai, MPCX and the Live.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't like going to different software. I want to do everything in one spot. I don't want to track it out.
And from an engineering standpoint, I can tell you right now, Maschine has more headroom than the 3 DAWs I've ever used in Studio One.
I agree with that.
And as soon as I dump it in Studio One, it's clipping. But Maschine is not. So I got to turn everything down.
Yeah, I know that in Sonar too. So I'm like, what the heck?
Check that fixed velocity, man. That fixed velocity used to be on 127 constantly.
You can change. You can adjust it though.
I wish you could set your own default because that 100,
right.
Yeah,
the 100 just
right.
feels so weak at times when you're trying to play
really
drums.
Right. But my main point was it doesn't always clip in Machine. Most of the time it doesn't. And then but even when I'm at like 100, that'll still clip Studio One depending on what instrument it is.
Right. Yeah.
So it has a lot of headroom, more than some of the DAWs I've used.
You're limiting.
Hey, I would love. I mean, I know everybody wants to have a dog, but I mean, for me and Dixie, both of us drop into. We export stems and go into another dog, and I think and you can tell me whether or not you agree with this, Dixie. It's not just about the sound quality or the headroom or whatever, but it's really the flexibility that dogs offer.
Right.
In terms of editing, in terms of
it's that, and for me, I use automation in almost everything I do, and just to be able to draw a straight line without being Picasso is an awesome thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
but you better, excuse me, BA, but you better be sober as you know what. You know what I'm saying? To try to draw a straight line in Machine.
Yeah.
Because it ain't happening.
Well, that's true.
The automation,
So when you do automation, you never write it like with the knobs and whatnot.
I've tried, but it's wiggly and all this stuff. Like I just want to do a straight line, man.
I mean, even playing with the pitch wheel sometimes on your keyboard it's like all over the place sometimes.
True.
So if they had the way to implement drawing straight lines or actually adding curves like you can in Ableton and stuff, that'd be very dope.
Oh, I know what else I want. If I could take an Ableton feature and put it in the new software, I want that damn audio to MIDI.
Oh yeah. That would be very dope if they do that.
Oh, wait a minute, because we've talked about this in other areas. You guys have talked a lot about people who have used the Serato sample, the whole detecting the key.
Key detection. Yeah. Now I know they could do that because it's in Tractor.
Yeah.
So they can do that.
They'll probably do it.
Yeah.
It's also Cubase can do that too. I think there are dogs that can do that. It's VSTs that can detect keys too.
Yeah. But their whole NI's whole thing is about just making your workflow and whatnot. So that definitely be very great for workflow.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Put in that sample, the key detection in there.
I think I was trying to get back into the Hangout. I know that y'all was talking about like pitch, like time stretching without having the ability to affect pitch real easily. I know y'all talked about that.
Oh, of course.
Oh, real time. Yeah, real time.
Yeah, that's something that they've talked about themselves, like in their forums, what they're working on. So I ain't worried about it. I think we'll see that come October or whenever it actually comes out.
So do you think when this MK3 gets released is when we'll get Machine 3.0 software as well?
Why wouldn't it be?
Okay.
They got to. They have to.
Yeah. You wouldn't bring out the MK3 just to use it with 268. I doubt that.
Yeah.
I doubt that. I think as we had this discussion, in other hangouts about a year or so ago, and I said I honestly believe that Native Instruments has been sitting on what they've been sitting on the whole time, waiting for a Kai. And they finally got the live out. The X is rolling out now. Finally, the 2.0 is out, and suddenly, because I'm gonna just say it like this: Gigahertz got his X last week?
Something like that.
I think about a week like Saturday.
Okay, so let's say a week and a half, no more than 2 weeks, and then suddenly today, hey, MK3, we're on the way. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
So do you think I think it will, but I'm just throwing it out there. When this 3.0 software come out, do you still think us older version users, well, not just because I know the MK2 would probably be working, but do you think the MK1 actually it should make a difference, and then MK2 will work, and the MK1 will work too?
I think they will always have the backwards compatibility with the old hardware. It's just that MK1 and maybe the MK2 are going to be lacking some of the features.
Yeah,
that the MK3 has with the software.
Yeah,
I'm A-okay with. I don't care. As long as you give me my DOS stuff, I'll take the limitations.
Right, exactly. And I think I'm pretty sure they're going to do it like they did with the 2.0, where the upgrade might end up being like $100.
Yeah.
Is anybody opposed to that?
Nope.
I'm not.
Not at all.
Problem.
Let me tell you why. They give us so many free updates throughout the year.
Yeah.
I don't mind paying for one.
Right. And have you noticed though? It seemed like every time they do an update, they add more sounds as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They do.
That's why I have no problem with it. Sometimes it's like over a gig of sound. So like,
didn't they add like new core modes?
Chord mode.
Something with chords that just came out. There's the keyboard that I really haven't played around with yet, and then there's the bass engine.
Yeah,
isomorphic keyboard or something.
Yeah.
And then another thing, if it's coming out in October, normally in November we get our Black Friday deals, and sometimes they give you like half off.
Oh, you get a voucher. Oh, you get a voucher.
Yeah, so maybe only $50. So.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Speaking of other features that I would like to see with the software, this is very minor, but I would love to see it. RTO probably knows where I'm going. I would love to see the ability to change the color of the interface, of the software interface, the GUI.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would necessarily go like Ableton does and give you skins, but I would definitely like to have different colors because myself and RTO, we use Vegas Pro for video, and Vegas Pro 15 just introduced where they have like 4 different GUI changes. It's like, dude, I want that.
Yeah, I mean it's a minor thing.
What's that?
What'd you say, BA?
Uh-oh. We lost you, brother.
Lost her.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot me if you will. But I'm gonna tell you who was the first I saw to do that. Non-DAW, of course, production software. And it came with like 8 different skins.
Meat thing.
Yep. Yep.
I think Reaper. I think Reaper had skins before that though.
Yeah, but Reaper is a DAW. I'm talking about production software.
Yeah, that's true.
Software. Okay, so now we got 3.0 coming. Do you think we're going to get a Contact 6?
No.
Yeah.
No,
not yet.
I think that's. I kind of think that's done for.
We had this discussion with somebody, we won't mention his name. I think they're done with different names or number upgrades like Reactor and stuff like that. I think from here on they're just going to add better features to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I'll tell you one more. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I wish we could do is to change the tempo in between scenes and stuff like that.
Yes, thank you. Different tempos for different scenes, different time signatures for different scenes.
Tempos and time signatures.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be very dope.
Yes.
For all of you classically trained people.
Right.
Who like to be adventurous and do silly stuff.
I just keep it moving.
I want a 7/16.
Hey, all I need is 4/4 and 90 BPM.
Exactly.
Don't tip me. I'll do it. I'll do it for in 7/8. You watch me.
Hey, man.
I don't doubt it.
It's not like having a 4/4 time signature with a sample that's 3/4, flipping it like that, and then say for the hook, switching it back to 3/4, making it go slow again, then speeding it back up. I always love that sound.
Hey, don't make me do a song. Don't make me do a song in 7/8 with a 3-bar loop.
That's crazy.
What was I about to say? Recording track mutes.
Oh, dude, that would just.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
That would be dope. That would be dope. Very dope.
Editing, just a better editor. A better editor.
All
What is a better system of editing in Machine? Because everything editing wise on Machine just seems like it's so on the fly.
Right.
And that's just not the way you know what I'm saying? I like to have the whole picture. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think, having come from version 1, so to speak, because I like I said, I jumped on from the beginning, February of 2009. 2009. And it hadn't even officially released yet. It still was out for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But one thing I was going to say is since then, I have seen them. This would be the second time now that if they do it, and I think they will have basically reinvented the wheel. Because when they came out with 2.0, it was worth the upgrade price. Yeah. Because it was a completely different system. I mean, because I've had to go back on occasion, doing tutorials with people or whatever, face to face, and I've had to re-download 1.8 to help them out. It's a totally different ball game.
I'm totally lost in 1.8.
Yo, it's a totally different ball game. So I got
almost makes you not even want to work in it.
I still got it on my computer. I don't never use it, but I still got it on there because I still got songs in 1.8. I haven't imported over yet.
Dude, I don't even know how to navigate to find the songs anymore. 1.8.
I don't even open it. I just go into the folder where all the projects are, and then just drag them into the new machine.
Yeah,
but I still got projects over there. I just didn't default import all my projects because there's a lot of shit I still got in 1.8.
Right.
Yeah, no, I started with 2.0, so I don't know anything about the dark ages.
Shut up. Y'all can roll up out of here then, if that's the case.
But you know what though? Like I said, I am in love with Serato sample. So if I could take all the Serato sample features and put them into Machine, I would never use Serato sample.
Yeah, it would be
just the feature, just the like I said, the key detection, the feature of it making selected random chops. I like the random chop feature because it gives me ideas when I don't have any.
And see, and that's why I never got it, because I knew that we would be having this discussion. And I'm hoping and praying that they got those key features that I did like about what I saw when I was, playing around with the beta. I hope they have that stuff in the MK3 software. Then that's $50 or $100 that, I saved straight up.
They're going to charge everybody $149. It's going to be $149. They're going to put the real time history in there. They're going to include it all, and they're going to cash out.
I doubt it's going to go that high.
I bet it will. I mean, because think about it. They waited for Kai. For $5.99, like they say. If they dropped this MK3, the price point is destroying a Kai.
Yeah.
So they still have the ability to raise the price of the update and still come in at a way more fantastic price point than a Kai will with the MPCX.
True.
I don't know. I think they'd be able to. I still think they'd be able to make a killing even with it 99. Like even if they made it like 99 or maybe 129 at the most.
I think they're going to do the exact same thing they did with 2.0. If you bought it within, I think it was 90 days, your upgrade was free. If it was within 6 months, you paid $50, I think. If it was any time before that you had or that you bought in, it was $100. But with me, but here's the other thing. I forgot. I don't know if it was RTO or maybe it was Jamari that we were talking earlier today. If you're going to buy the MK3, you got the software.
Yeah, I would think so.
Right.
Yeah. Because that was the same situation when I bought the studio. I got 2.0, so I didn't have to worry about paying the upgrade price. That's crazy, man.
I'm excited.
Then the question becomes: will you buy an MK3?
Who, me?
Yeah, I know you gonna.
I already know. We already know.
You talking to me? Like, you talking to me?
The question is, will Jay Bishop buy it?
Right. Will Aiden Smith buy it? You know? If I get it, like I said, it won't be. Since I don't think I'll need it right away, I probably wouldn't get it for like a year.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
I'll probably just ride with the software, and you know.
If they release it in October, I'll probably have it in October.
And that's the normal turnover for something like that.
Yeah.
Normally within like that first year. It's you're gonna have people like myself and thousands of other people who are gonna jump on it right away. But you're gonna have plenty of people who are just gonna kind of hang back, as you should, wait for reviews, wait till you know somebody that got it, whatever the situation may be, wait till any bugs or whatever has been, worked out, however. And then go into it, and that's fine. That's completely fine. Me, I'm most likely going to be day one. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
Yeah.
I hope to be day one because I've had this MK2. I want to say for 3 years now, and I'm due for something new.
Right.
Shoot,
Yeah.
you do. Man,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been having this MK1 since 2010.
Hey, shout out to RTO keeping it real OG, dog.
Right.
Right.
Jeez.
I kind of skipped the MK2 because I went for the push, but I'm like, whenever I've been waiting, I'm like, because I knew about the studio, and I was like, it's either the studio or the push. Saw some stuff I wanted to put with push that I like more, so I'm going to go with that.
Right.
If there's ever going to be a new MK2, then I'm going to be looking for that. I mean, a new MK series. I'm going to be on the lookout for that. And
Hell yeah.
behold, here we go. So
Hell
definitely going to be on the radar. No time soon, no, but
I just need the dope software. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's what it all comes down to. That can I get done what I need to get done on the software with my poor old MK1 Micro?
Right.
If I can, then I probably won't upgrade.
Oh, here we go.
For me, I haven't even really. I was thinking this about football season. I'm saying, and I remember that I bought the Jam last year before one of the football games at my high school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
People have literally accessed 10% of what the Jam does, and I mean it's not because I don't like it. There's a little bit of a learning curve that I just haven't really taken the time to get into. And even now with the updates and stuff and how it's integrated with MK2 and everything, I mean, the other machines in the studio and everything, I'm really excited to try to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
But I just haven't had time to learn it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same with me. I didn't really start using the Jam until these last few months. And even I'm surprised nobody has called me out for it. Like when I do my live streams, and I have the Jam, I've rarely used the Jam. I more use the Jam for switching and, really light effects, that kind of thing, at least live. But the Jam is more of a companion. That's what I like about it. And that's how I use it. But there's people who only have the Jam or who are very, I guess the term is proficient at the Jam. They're very good at using it and they can get a lot more stuff done. Me, I'm more on the MK2 or I'm on the studio. I use the Jam. If I want to have, all 64 pads to play out a bass line or keys or whatever, or to, I like the strumming with the notes and all that kind of stuff, or using the performance effects. That stuff is really dope. Mm-hmm. But I guess long story short, don't feel bad about not being, as far along as you want with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since you said it and everything, I would like to see some Jam videos about using the chord function, the strumming thing.
We can do that. We can do that. The only reason
I've never seen it.
The only reason you don't have that, and that's because when I got hurt right after I got the Jam last year. That's the only reason. But we can do that. And that's the other thing I'm really interested in with the 3.0 software. How is that going to work with the Jam?
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope, man. I got a feeling that's gonna be real dope.
Woo. Meanwhile, like I said, I'm on eBay right now, and I tell you what's going to end up happening is I'm about to cop me a studio because these prices about to get stupid.
There you go. Why not?
They'll be giving them away.
Why not? Smart man.
I can probably when that joint drop, I guarantee you, I can probably cop a studio for around $250, $275.
Do that right now.
I'm looking at they're around $350, $400 right now. So when that joint drop, the price is gonna drop another $100.
You know, whenever the Live and X dropped, I saw some Rens on eBay for like 150, 190.
Yeah. Crazy.
So that's probably what's gonna happen for me. I'm probably gonna cop the studio for the low when that MK3 drop.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't
nothing wrong with
that.
See
what happens.
Jay Bishop.
I think
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if AS did that as well.
I'm saying,
like I said, the push 2 was calling, but I mean, if they do their thing, then I really won't even need to venture off into something else right away. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm looking right now. Here, somebody just posted a white one for $320.
A white studio.
Wow.
A white studio for $320.
That's not bad.
That's great.
That's not bad at all.
At all.
Well, look,
last week that would have been like $500-$600.
Yeah, that's true. Well, look, we're coming up on an hour. I didn't want to have this, go too long because I know people got jobs and lives and stuff. Any final thoughts? Anything that you would like to see as far as the hardware or the software?
I just want a white one.
That would be dope. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything about colors yet.
I want to say something. Maschine has a fantastic opportunity right now to really cement itself because MPC Live and MPC X is cool. It has its quirks. It has its problems too. And although you got a lot of early adopters that's successful, I look at my man Diggerhurst and he hurt my heart. Work right. So Maschine has the opportunity right now to really, really capture the production audience in a new way. Because if they can capture what makes the MPC great and what makes Ableton great, along with what already makes Maschine as fantastic as it is,
right?
Next 5 years, man.
Yeah, straight up. And that's why I think everybody agrees that the MK3 looks great. For anybody that's interested in the complete control, those look great. But I think what everybody is really interested in on this panel, in the chat, and anybody watching this playback, I think more people are interested in the software. How dope, how easy and accessible is the software going to be?
Exactly.
Right.
I think that's what's really going down. But yeah, any final thoughts from anybody, man?
He pretty much just covered it with the software with me.
Right, exactly. That's what it's all come down.
I'm just hyped, and I'm waiting for the official tissue to drop because they're gonna drop a bunch of promo videos and all that stuff. So
yeah,
man, that first video where they gonna have all the crazy editing and the lights and everything. Oh, that's gonna be sick.
Get ready for some Jeremy Ellis videos,
right?
And how these pads are gonna be feeling.
Right,
exactly.
Tell Native Instruments to get some better music for their promo videos, though, because the music is already so terrible.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be some.
I doubt that. But hey, I want to thank all of y'all for hanging with me tonight on this and discussing this because the world is waiting, especially since Akai has finally done their thing. Now the world is waiting to see what NI is going to do. So very, very special shout out to my panel tonight. My man, Agent Smith, B.A. Mac, Dixie Freely, Mr. Wallace. We got RTO Beats, Jay Bishop, everybody that's watching right now in the chat. It's too many of y'all to name, but thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed what we were talking about here tonight, feel free. If you don't follow the channel already, thank you for watching. Please follow the channel, share the video, let people know, you know, what's going on over here if people are asking questions. And let me ask this right now. When we do get the official announcement and we know all details, y'all want to come back and do it again?
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Okay. Done dilly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tasherre Risay, computermusicacademy.com. Come through and hang with us. Also, while I'm here, let me plug this. We're live every Tuesday night on this channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our weekly homework podcast, the live version of it. Come through and hang with us, man. Again, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and for now, we're done. Thank you again to my panel. Thank you again to everybody that's watching live and watching the playback. And we'll see you soon. Peace, y'all.
Deuces.
Peace,
All right,
peace.
good night.
Peace.